Hello, hello, beautiful humans. I want to talk about something very different today, but also I hope that it will kind of make your brain start to expand a little bit. Before I get into it, you're probably sitting there going, come again? You want to talk about something different and expand my brain? What is this girl on? I am on 34 weeks pregnant. That's what I'm on right now. So I'm doing a lot of reflecting. I'm doing a lot of preparation. And in doing so, I keep coming back to is if I could design a perfect day, what would that look like? And so that's what I want you to do. I want you pause this video, get a piece of paper, and I want you to actually design your perfect day. And because when you're walking through this, I want you to ask yourself, like, how does each day begin? This is your perfect day. I want you to think as big as you possibly can. How does every day begin? What do you feel on a daily basis? Are you excited? Are you at peace? Are you hopeful? What is like this one feeling that you carry with yourself every single day? How do you spend your time? I feel like I've personally been really mapping out when I think about what my perfect day is going to look like a month from now. And the one thing I keep coming back to is I spend my time with intention. My day is filled doing things that not only make me happy, but have a purpose. And so let me go a little bit deeper on this because I just said a bunch of like really vague things. But when you think about what your perfect day is, there may be some things that come up where it could be, well, I get to have a very slow start to the day. I don't have to drive into an office. You could also be thinking that your perfect day starts with the most delicious cup of coffee that you've ever had in your life, sitting on a back porch, listening to the birds, and you are in complete peace. There's no hurry, there's no stress, there's no anxiety. You know what you have to do that day, but there's no like rushing around it. Somebody else's perfect day may be jumping on a flight. Their perfect day may be that they are traveling constantly. When we start to think about what our perfect day is, you're probably going to get to this point where then your brain goes, okay, but how are we affording this? Right? Because our brain does these things. Our brain gets to a point where we're like, this is wonderful and this is lovely and this sounds magical, but let me bring it back to reality. So I want to throw out a different perspective. Because yes, you need money. Yes, you need to be able to earn a living in order to have these perfect days. But when you're walking through this perfect day, was there ever a point where a part of your perfect day was a specific type of work? I know for me personally, my perfect day has never been I'm going to wake up and I am going to work on Pinterest content for clients. It might sound really backwards coming from somebody who runs a Pinterest agency, but that is a vehicle to creating my perfect day. Let me explain. Running a Pinterest agency, working on Pinterest for clients comes with so much freedom and flexibility. You are not on 24/7 for these clients. You know what the tasks are. You can get ahead. And if there are days where I want to only work 1 to 2 hours, I can do that. Now, there's probably going to be other days where I need to work, 6 hours because I only worked an hour the day before. But that is a vehicle. That's a vehicle that allows me to make money from home. That's a vehicle that allows me to have my perfect day. And that's a vehicle that allows me to show up as who I want to show up as. And trust me, I have tried a lot of vehicles. I tried to be a social media manager. That was not a fun vehicle for me. That completely burned me out. I tried to be what they call an online business manager, where you're handling a lot of parts of people's businesses. That started every single day with anxiety. I tried to sell affiliate products. That was stressful. I had to be on social 24/7. And so Pinterest has allowed me to build a life that is slow, that's meaningful, that's peaceful, and it's also allowed me to make really great money along the way as well. And so the whole reason behind this isn't to be like, oh my gosh, look at what I've built. Instead, it's really to talk about some of the DMs that I get. And these DMs are, okay, but I don't really know if I'm passionate about Pinterest. Cool. You don't have to be passionate about Pinterest. I don't know when we started thinking that in order to live a life that we truly love, the work we do, we have to be wildly passionate about, or it's the only thing we can be passionate about. So instead of I'm not passionate about Pinterest, I usually ask, okay, but what are you passionate about? What actually would light you up? What actually would make it so you're sitting there going, wow, I am living my fullest life? Because I can tell you, there are so many days, like I do personally love Pinterest as a platform. I think it's really, really powerful. I've seen it do amazing things for our clients. That's come with years of experience, right? I have been managing Pinterest accounts since 2018 for clients, and I was on Pinterest as a creator since 2014. So, like, I've been on the platform for a very long time. I've seen what it can do. I've understood, like, the heart and the mission behind, like, why they do certain things as a company in terms of, like, content and advertising. And that's a whole other tangent I could go down. So, like, I do genuinely really like the platform. But that's not what wakes me up in the morning. What wakes me up in the morning is knowing that I have a world full of possibilities and so many doors that can be opened that were never opened when I was rushing into a 9 to 6. We were having lunch with some friends over the weekend, and we were talking about maternity leave because we're getting to that point, right? Getting close over here. And thankfully my husband has some really great maternity leave. I'm so thankful for that. And as I was talking about kind of like what my plan is for postpartum, I was like, it's really strange, like being someone who I'm not technically having a maternity leave. I'm going to be taking a couple weeks fully offline. I have amazing team in place who's going to be able to step in, amazing business partner who's going to be able to step in. But after that, like, there will be a part of me that will work a couple hours, and there's no anxiety about that. There's no stress about that. That's like what I want to do. But I also know on the flip side that I have the opportunity that, like, if things aren't going that great after a couple of weeks, I can still be back. I can still take that step back. And she said to me, she was like, no, it's actually amazing what you've built to be able to have this flexibility that even when you take, like, postpartum out of it, just like the actual day-to-day flexibility of being able to be there for your kid is amazing. She was like, a lot of people don't have that opportunity. And then that got me thinking even more about, like, I'm not special. I just simply started building something before I was ever ready. I started building something when I was absolutely terrified. I started building something when everyone was looking at me being like, what is she doing? She's lost her mind. And I can tell you it was one of the greatest things I've ever done. Have there been times where it's been really stressful to be your own boss? 100%. Have I had really bad client experiences? 1000%. But I would never trade any of it to be going into an office, because I know at the end of the day, I can do my job in like 2 to 4 hours a day, and the rest of my time can be spent caring for my kid. The rest of my time can be spent truly how it needs to be spent for my family and for myself. And that is not something you can say in that traditional job. And that is what building a Pinterest business has done for me. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not like, oh my gosh, everyone needs to build a Pinterest business because it is the best thing in the entire world. No, I believe everyone should become a Pinterest manager or a Pinterest virtual assistant or start a Pinterest agency, because it gives you the most amount of freedom and flexibility while earning an amazing amount of money. So that then you can spend your ideal day. You can spend your perfect day, because your perfect day is going to look so much different than mine. My perfect day looked so much different 5 years ago. 5 years ago, my perfect day was literally like, what plane can I get on? Where can I travel to? Through this all, I've still had the same business. It's allowed me the same freedom. My freedom has just looked different with what I've wanted. And I think that's one of the really exciting things when you're building a business, is looking at it from the aspect of, I don't have to be the most passionate person in the world about what I'm offering, but I do need to be passionate about something. And so for me personally right now, what I'm passionate about is being able to have that time, being able to have that freedom and that flexibility, and being able to show up for my family in a way that I know I would never be able to do going into a 9 to 5. That's what lights me up. And so if you're sitting here going, okay, I hear you. I need to do something different. I'm really tired of just sitting here wondering or watching other people build essentially what would be my dream. I really want to encourage you to jump into my free training. It is like the number one place to begin. It is going to walk you through how to start this business, what services to offer, and how to do it in the amount of time that you have. And if you've already watched the training and you're continuing to watch these videos and you're still sitting there and you're not taking action, join us inside the Pinterest VA School. If you are feeling a tug to make this happen, there's a reason. And I want to see you inside of that community. And I want to help you build a life that you wake up and you are like, how is this even possible? This feels like a dream. Okay, I'll see you next time.